On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, Tonikawa, Over the Moon for You, Episode 2, The First Night. I'm not gonna lie, this is just an adorable show. Just the overt innocence of NASA, and we saw a little bit of blushing, embarrassed Tsukasa. See, this is one of those shows you just want to put on when you want to go, "Aww, isn't that cute?" A truly nice pick-me-up from the world we currently find ourselves in. With our initial episode, we saw the fated meeting between our two protagonists. A single look was all it took for NASA to throw caution to the wind and step out on an active road, hands reaching towards this vision of beauty, as if scripted by the heavens themselves. Unfortunately, the box truck barreling towards NASA did not get the memo. But luckily for him, it seems his first love is one tough cookie, as she quite literally saves his life. But it seems just as quickly as she entered his life, she is beginning to leave. With the fable of Princess Kaguya flashing through his mind, he cannot let this chance go by. This is it. This is fate. It's like the heavens are speaking to me. Do not let this woman go. Surging forth on conviction and adrenaline alone, he finally makes his way to this mysterious maiden who seems to have him completely entranced. After two failed attempts, the proclamation of love finally makes it to his lips. "I love you." And with these words finally passing his lips, the girl finally retorts, "Okay, we can be together, but you'll have to marry me first." But unfortunately, without even ascertaining this girl's name, NASA has finally collapsed. Whether it was due to the stretch of the situation or the fact that he got hit by a fucking truck, our man is down for the count. But it seems this woman has truly had a profound effect. Where there was once goals and aspirations, NASA is now just meandering through life, constantly playing the what if game. That's of course until he hears a knock on his door. Who is it? It's the girl. Tsukasa has returned to make good on their promise. And in the end, these two get hitched. And this is where we pick up episode 2. This is literally right as they're walking home. The two decide to spread out, like, "Hey, I gotta go finish some business up. You go back to the house. I'll meet you over there." Now, all the meanwhile, NASA has been so preoccupied with the fact that, hey, I am married, and wait a second, this girl's about to sleep over. He neglects to realize that he's living in a bachelor pad. This is a twin bed. But being the studious person he is trying to calculate exactly how they're going to share this space, which leads us to probably one of the funniest moments we've seen in the series thus far. I know we're only 2 episodes in, but seriously, we've had some pretty comedic moments. But when Tsukasa catches him spooning with a pillow, pretending that's how they're going to sleep, I honestly had to laugh out loud. It was actually really fucking funny. But that does bring up a good point. How exactly are they going to cohabitate in such a small apartment? This is basically a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and we all know in Japan, it's a lot smaller than you would realize. But obviously NASA wants to make this work. Hey, whatever you want to do, you take the bed, I'll sleep on the floor, I'll do whatever the fuck. I mean, the dude is literally now married to quite literal the girl of his dreams, and while he was awake, basically consumed his entire brain. Now, Tsukasa wants to take the more logical approach. Hey, right now we just can't do this. You know what? I'll go ahead and sleep in a capsule hotel for tonight. We'll think of things tomorrow. But this feeling of, dare I say, abandonment and almost fear of loss seems to overwhelm NASA. If I let this girl go, I might not see her again. But there's also this sense of self-realization. Why exactly is this girl married to me? I'm not 100% sure. We actually see him begin to question and dive into this. Hey, Tsukasa, why exactly did you marry me? She in turn decides to flip it on him. Well, why did you marry me? It's, well, because I love you. Well, it's simple. Husband, you should understand I wouldn't marry someone if I didn't love them. Of course, this is a very innocent, awkward, yet comedic moment, but there's an interesting little tad bit at the very end of this little conversation when they're talking about actually falling in love. We know Tsukasa, now with NASA, we know it was love at first sight. He literally saw this girl drinking a canned coffee across the road and literally walked in front of a truck to try to get to her. But when he questions, well, at what point did you fall in love with me? We get a, oh, I'm not telling. So does that mean either A, she knew him before this little interaction? B, did she fall in love at first sight just like him? C, did it happen later? Like, I don't know if I'm thinking too much into this little interaction, but it is kind of like a cute, like, I'll never tell. Like, it's just a very sweet moment, but it kind of adds another hook, like, when exactly did you fall in love with NASA? Now, after this conversation, we see Tsukasa head for the door. As she is heading out, he goes, no, let's go ahead. We'll go to a futon store and I'll buy you whatever you want. Just stay with me. Don't go. I don't know if it's his naivete, the abrupt, shocking situation he was put into, or how much of an impact that fable of Prince of Kaguya going back to the moon has had on on him in this almost unreal situation, he really does have this fear of, you know what, if I do let this girl go, what is she even really gonna come back? But for now, it doesn't seem he really has to think more about this. She agrees, they go out and futon shopping. We learn that NASA is pretty fucking smart, as he is able to categorically distinguish between different types of futon materials and stuff like that. I mean, he was on the fast track of overtaking NASA, so dude's gotta be legit smart. But while shopping for futons, we do get a hit with another super sweet moment where NASA seems preoccupied with overthinking the hand holding, and Tsukasa just goes out and grabs his hand, and he comes to this epiphany that, you know what, holding her hand is great, but being held is even better. Thank you, futon heaven, you really are heaven. Now eventually they make it back to NASA's place, and we get this kind of awkward moment where, I mean, these two literally have spent less than an hour with each other, and now it's time to undress, and obviously there's this, she's shy or embarrassed when it comes to, you know, her undressing, but was so nonchalant, like, hey, you can undress out here. But honestly, this is first love, so things are gonna be very awkward. Obviously, NASA takes us an opportunity to be, you know, modest. Oh, don't worry, I'll go change in the bathroom / kitchen. Like, it's just basically, I think, 2 rooms, which leads into the next comical part where we see not only Tsukasa has a particular hairstyle when going to bed, but her actual particular sleep style. She is what is referred to as a restless sleeper. Now, I can actually relate. I toss and turn, I think I would say over 20 or 30 times. There's no breathing issues, it's just the way I sleep. For some reason, I get up like every 30 minutes and toss and flip and turn and do that shit. So I'm not as weird as her when we see her start kicking the air and fussing and turning around and stuff, yet while still asleep, like I'm actually, I wake up throwing, you know, her futon blanket over. We see this very genuine moment where NASA feels obligated, like, you know what, she will catch a cold on that floor. Let me go ahead and retuck her ass in. And then he stops and he's staring at her, and their faces are getting closer and closer, and he's thinking, like, can I take this opportunity to kiss this girl? Like, dude, no, you can't steal your first kiss, man. Like, that's assault. I mean, you can't do that. No, you want to both be awake. Of course, he backs off. You know, she's tucked in. He's trying to go back to bed. Now, it's this very awkward moment. I've actually had this happen to me before where he is still awake. The other person is literally moving behind him. She goes, gets a glass of water. He's like, oh, she must be up. And then she's just standing behind him as he sleeps. He gets this really like freaked out moment. Like, what the fuck is going on? Did she notice I tried to kiss her? No, she's like half asleep still. She basically falls on top of him, steals his comforter in a very Wind-esque moment, is just freezing throughout the night. But he wakes up and he is just joyous. This girl who is now completely confused at her hairstyle, why she has 2 comforters. I just spent the night with this girl. I mean, how can things get any better? I mean, if futon was heaven, what is this, like double heaven? Well, things could get better or awkward depending on how you view it, as she begins undressing. I guess she was still in half a daze. He did the manly thing. He did, hey, don't forget, I'm with you. Yeah, that would be awkward, wouldn't it? Here, let me go ahead and change. No, don't worry, I'll go ahead. We'll go into the next room. You take your time. Coming back, we get the probably sweetest moment of today's episode where they start exchanging nicknames. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the suffixes, like Chan versus San. Or I think there's a Kun in there somewhere. Like, there's obviously some delineation that when he wants to call her a particular name, choosing to call her, Tsukasa-chan, which I guess is like a childish version, yet he thinks it's cute. She's gonna call him Nasa-kun, but I honestly think her calling him darling, like the pet nickname, is actually way more adorable, and you just get this nice kind of embarrassed, blushing moment between the two. It's our first real glimpse at some deeper emotions coming from Tsukasa, because she's been kind of, like I said, she's a mystery. There's an air of, we don't really know who this girl is. We know who NASA is. He was named by his parents from the stars in the heaven and just given that huge pivotal name, and thus it literally structured the rest of his life, wanting to surpass the reputation of, the Aeronautics Space Institute, like shit. Like, he wants to become this pivotal thing. Like, we know who NASA is, but we know nothing of this girl who literally has just shown up and, hey, we're getting hitched, and has literally had all the paperwork filled out and shit. So to see them start to slowly shine a light on, yeah, this is a girl, it's not just some stern individual that comes out of nowhere. Like, we've had bits and pieces, but that whole last interaction between the two is, honestly, it's just blissful. It's just innocent and it's cute. This really is the palate cleanser of this season, especially when we're getting such, you know, we got some really badass action coming. We have some really dark shit coming. We have some bloody shit coming. And I literally just watched, what's it called? It's from the maker of Angel Beats, and I have a bad feeling that it's gonna be really fucking sad. So to have a nice pick-me-up that's just so genuinely innocent, it feels good. It just lightens my entire mood. Going forward, like I said, we have to unravel the mystery of Tsukasa. There has to be more to this girl. And honestly, I just want to see some more cute hilarity coming from these two trying to suss out what it means to be married, let alone what it means to be together. I mean, I don't know if they've had previous relationships. I'm pretty sure NASA, with him, we just sped through everything. But not only like this being like love at first sight and such a mythical meeting of her literally saving his life, but to be married right afterwards with basically them not knowing each other. We're gonna have a lot of discoveries made on both parts. Another thing I would like to see happen, see him being so preoccupied with this mysterious girl, he threw away his goals and aspirations. He literally replaced his mission of surpassing NASA with just contemplating the what ifs of having this girl, and now he has this girl. I'd like to see him go back to school. I'm pretty sure he was either going to take his entrance exams or did take them. I'm not 100% sure because I know something he had got bloody during the accident, but he was on track to do some good shit. We still tell that he's fucking smart, being able to tell the difference between down feathers and foam and something I don't fucking know. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. I'm a simple guy. Something's comfy, I'll sit in it. Anyways, with all that being said, like I said, this series is just a light-hearted, warm, innocent, sometimes naive, sometimes funny series that, you know what, can pick you up when you're feeling blue. So with all that being said and more Tonikawa in my future, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.